On the Anglophone problem, the year 2016 ended with tragic violence in the northwest and southwest regions. In addition to rapes, torture, cruel, inhuman and degrading treatment of confused young girls hunted down in the slums caused student rooms in Boya, massacres of revolted but unarmed populations, particularly in Bamenda and Kumba. We have condemned and strongly condemned again this unacceptable behavior because nothing can justify such criminal acts from a government whose primary mission is to protect people, to hear out their complaints and respond to their grievances. In a political and social context which is hostile to the government because of the irresponsible remarks of certain ministers, the same administrative authorities who never failed to prohibit CRM meetings and other opposition manifestations have complacently authorized the holding of a CPDM meeting on Thursday, December 8, 2016 in Bamenda. This meeting, which was in reality only a diabolical administrative and political provocation, as one would expect, turned into clashes. Security and defense forces have decided to turn a simple policing operation into an operation of human war. In a disproportionate and useless outburst of violence, they called soldiers in reinforcement, even though at no time did the government reveal to the public that protesters were armed. Like in 2008, they killed unarmed Cameroonians. The claim for the Anglophone regions that secession is not a crime. There is therefore no justification for the death of Cameroonians who make such a claim. The CRM reiterates its request for the opening of a diligent investigation not only to determine all administrative, police and military responsibilities, but to seek and prosecute elements of the security and defense forces who have shot down unarmed compatriots with weapons of the Republic and its name, have abused and inflicted students cruel and inhuman treatment on campus in their residences, in particular in Boya. There is therefore an Anglophone problem in our country, which even those who have been obstinately denying it for years are now obliged to acknowledge. The CRM affirmed it as of its launch in August 2012 and made it a major point of interest in its political program. We must approach these questions by distinguishing the method from the substance. Regarding the methodology, the CRM has consistently argued that this issue needs to be discussed and resolved in a Republican dialogue and called on those in charge of the country's affairs today to set up a framework for this dialogue. The CRM is undoubtedly the promoter of this idea of dialogue as the only adequate approach to address this thorny issue that it has proposed as early as 2012, reiterated it during its meeting in Bamenda on June 25th, 2016 and in Gaoundé on December 10th, 2016. This proposal seems to be shared by all the political class today, and we can only rejoice even if this conversion is too late, especially with regard to the government, because we could have avoided the drama that has affected the country because of the many deaths in the Anglophone regions of the northwest and southwest, if attention has been paid to our repeated calls for dialogue. Concerning the substance, various positions have been expressed, and there is opposition between supporters of federalism with the variable numbers of number of federated states and the arrogant champions of frozen and stifling centralism. The CRM considers that the desired dialogue should not be preempted by unchanging position prior to its organization. In this regard, the CRM holds the current regime responsible for the political crisis created by the uprising of our Anglophone compatriots since the establishment of regions provided for in 1996 Constitution, which confers a large degree of autonomy on decentralized local governments, should have made claim from our compatriots in the northwest and southwest region not relevant, especially as regards the form of the state. Indeed, the resurgence in a violent form of the demands of the form of the state, which now distorts the terms of the political debate on the worrying future of our country, is the result of 20 years of procrastination, red tape, and petty political calculations that paralyzed and still paralyzed the full implementation of the 1996 Constitution. This is one of the many consequences of the failure of the government's policy on decentralization and democratization. In any event, the CRM considers that a pure return to a federal system with two states between the former East Cameroon and the former West Cameroon, as has existed in 1961, it is all these historical elements, these multiple facts that we must bear in mind.
My tomorrow must be greater than today.